going on, guys?
Good evening.
Ciao.
Good evening. That's so formal, Peter. Yes.
It was.
Welcome to And Now We Drink Theater with Peter Warren. We are going to be very formal this evening. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how I roll.
All the formalness.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm representing AVN. I have to be very, very fucking
right.
formal. We don't review fuck films for a living or anything.
No.
I don't.
But you could. You've been in enough of them. I'm sure you know what a good one looks like.
I think that's a matter of opinion.
It's all a matter of opinion.
Well, yeah, it's
We
art.
definitely don't agree on, well, some things. But I think I definitely like different things.
Oh, yeah. Way different things.
Such as what?
I don't know. Like,
The things I'm most proud of.
yeah. It like large objects going into buttholes.
Not just large, but multiple ones.
At the
Or
same
like
time.
my creepy horror stuff.
Peter, are you not into that at all?
No.
You're not here to support your friend's art?
I mean, I support her art, but I'm just saying it's not my type of porn.
Well, at least you're a supportive friend. Yeah.
But at least, like, on a technical level, you can appreciate the art.
I will say, I mean, I know Perverse Family is her, pride and joy, and it's exceptionally well made. It's a beautiful piece of art as far as art goes. It's just really gross.
It's hardcore porn, but it's just really disgusting. But it is my pride and joy, so thank you. I always love to hear that.
Peter's like, it doesn't get my dick hard, but I understand that this is a technical masterpiece.
Right.
And that's okay. It's okay. As long as you're supporting your friend.
He does.
Absolutely.
So what's going on, guys? Like, Anna, welcome back to the States. Welcome to, apparently what's becoming an annual thing because the audience is demanding it.
It was already an annual thing, but...
Oh, yeah, stupid pandemic.
I love that this is a tradition now at this time of year.
Yeah, we've kept it going.
It's part, but this is the last piece of like the tradition now because like we did all the other stuff already. Usually this is before the other stuff. I think
That is true. We almost didn't get it to happen this year. I leave in 2 days, so you caught me at like the end of my trip.
Well, I'm glad I got you. My audience is definitely glad I got you because, like, the comment section is like, when's Anna DeVille coming back on? When's Anna DeVille? Like, she doesn't live in the fucking country.
The exact same time as next year.
Right.
Always the same time. But I always get that from people too. They're like, oh, I just heard you're in the country. And I'm like, well, I come at the same time every single year.
I at least
Should it be a shock?
I at least put it in your ear, like when you're like, I'm gonna be back this year, like per usual. I'm like, come, we gotta do the thing.
Oh, I always plan on it anyways.
Aw,
It is annual.
aw.
So cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Oink.
Eh.
Clinky. Drinky.
So,
That's
oh,
heavy.
that is good. That is fucking good.
It's
Well-
really good.
Okay, it's
You're like, start. It's really good.
actually why, because when you were asking what bottle to get him, and he just said bourbon. So when I used to drink bourbon before I fell down the Scotch rabbit hole, I used to drink like Wild Turkey a lot, but I always heard about Angel's Envy, and it was always when I really wanted to try, but I actually never got around to trying it, because then I just started drinking Scotch and I forgot all about bourbon. So when he couldn't think of a bottle, that was the first one that came to my head.
You gave up on bourbon. That's so sad.
Well, of course I did, but I mean,
I mean,
it was for the best.
we can still get you a taste of this before you take off tonight.
That feels like very sacrilegious when I'm drinking Ardbeg, but like maybe I'll try a little taste.
We'll find something to like do a palate.
Blasphemous, but
We'll do something that's like a palate cleanser, so you can just like get a little tasty, like get a flight of it.
maybe.
I mean, I'm not here to twist your arm to drink the alcohol that
Well,
I
no,
want
I
to drink.
mean, because I am interested in it. It was, I don't know, like I said, it was just always one that I heard a lot about, and then I stopped drinking bourbon, so maybe I'll try a little sip when we're done, but I'll stick to Ardbeg for now.
Please do, otherwise it's just going to stay here and wait for you to come back.
Well, that's the nice thing about Ardbeg is that it waits for me. It's always there.
We have the bottle from when she was here last year, still intact.
Oh, intact, but almost gone.
I mean, there's a second bottle, don't worry.
Yes.
And some random Japanese whiskey I picked up at the duty-free shop, so.
Okay.
I think I tried some Japanese scotch, or not scotch, but whiskey, and I don't know, it's not as peated as I want it to be. I'm sure it's still good whiskey, but it's just not quite my taste. It's not Isla.
I mean, I have no idea what this stuff tastes like. It was literally like, I have yen left in my pocket. I need to get rid of it. Yoink.
That's a good thing to spend it on.
Whiskey. Done.
Yeah.
Done. So what have you been doing in Prague? What have you been doing with yourself? It's been a year. It goes by so fast, but I know you've done a ton of shit while we've been apart.
It does go by fast. Well, obviously, as we've already talked about, still working for Perverse Family a lot. We are going to come out with season 4 soon. So that's super exciting. And I already have work booked when I get back to Prague. More double anal scenes as every year. And more Perverse Family stuff. And then, I don't know.
You don't know.
That's mostly a lot of double anal, a lot of perverse.
What are you doing with yourself in your free time? Like,
We were just talking about this the other night. I like to use my typewriter. I brought it over. I put it in my suitcase, and I managed to bring my Smith Corona typewriter to Prague. My parents didn't actually expect me to put it in my suitcase and bring it, but I did. And so that's been fun to use when I'm drunk and I just feel like writing random thoughts and pages on it.
I feel like you're living such a like Hemingway-esque life at the moment. You're like, I'm in Europe, drinking scotch, cigarette dangling out of your mouth at a cafe with your typewriter. Just
Oh, in my dark, like, cozy apartment. I'm just like, I smoke my cigarettes and I can just sit at my typewriter and drink my scotch. It's been good. It's always good. Do sewing.
someone needs to actually like film you in your natural habitat with just the clove hanging off your mouth at your typewriter.
Maybe hopefully this year, I might start making some of my own content, even if it's just like my personal life to start out with. We'll see. I have been in the industry for over 7 years and I've not made any content, but we'll see if we start doing that this year.
That is such, wow, 7 years in and no content. Like in this day and age in the industry to have.
It'll be 8 in like May, I think. May, June, early June. It'll be 8 years.
Which is wild because it's like 8 years in, still in your 20s.
Yes.
True.
Well, it'll be 10 years when I'm 28, so.
And me and Peter will be dead.
No. I hope I'll drink on your graves then and keep the podcast going.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
What is that? I think that's like an honor. That's a good way to remember someone, to honor them.
Sure.
I'll drink on your grave.
I'll drink on your grave.
The skeleton cup is very fitting for that, actually. It's like a glimpse into the future.
Ay, ay, ay. I don't like all this death talk.
Well, then don't die.
Simple.
It's a really easy plan.
Easier said than done, I think.
Like most things. You just got to put some concentrated effort and don't die. I mean, eating at Arby's is not a good step to,
That's true.
Smoking isn't a good step either, but, what are you going to do?
I don't necessarily believe that. Yeah, it causes cancer and all that shit, but all those motherfuckers that make it to like 115 and shit are all like smoking and eating bacon and...
Everyone's chain smoking.
That's true. That's true.
Every last one of them is like, yeah, I'm 115. I smoke a pack and a half of Reds a day.
They sound like that, but they're still alive.
I I order a pound of bacon every morning, eggs cooked in lard, and like that's good living.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, even I'm a vegetarian, but I'll keep eating my cheese. Lots of cheese and dairy.
Well, yeah, cheese is addictive. I mean, your body physically craves it.
It's extremely addictive.
hmm
I can vouch for that. Scotch and cheese.
What else?
That's another thing that I do at my apartment a lot is having my little cheese boards at home.
Just a little charcuterie board just set up. Peter, what have you been up to?
Making it through the grand return to Vegas for Avian. It was quite an effort.
That's true. It was the first one in a while.
The family-friendly version this year,
Was it family friendly? Oh,
judging by the dress codes.
by the dress codes. Nah, it's there's always been dress codes. First of all,
It seemed a little harsher this year.
I don't know. They never really affect what I'm going to wear. I don't even look at them.
Me neither.
Fair.
No, then again, if my ass cheeks were hanging out, people would be like, "What the fuck is happening here?"
Can get some spandex.
I mean, I didn't really get to walk around the show because I never get to walk around the show because I'm trapped giving talent their tickets all 4 days. So
I feed
I
him
don't-
whiskey.
I don't get to do anything else. But yeah, I heard rumblings about the dress code.
It's what people were complaining to me about every time I saw them. I
Interesting.
mean, I know AVN doesn't set the dress codes.
No.
If it was up to AVN, everyone would be butt naked and fucking on the floor.
Of course.
Then I probably wouldn't be there because
But then there would be no AVN if we allowed that.
I mean, there'd be one last one.
I guess, yeah.
one grand finale. Well, then it would just look like a Eurofest.
Right.
See, the Europeans do. Why are we not going to the European conventions?
Do they have conventions?
There's tons of conventions. There's there's the one I go to in Prague. It's Czech Aerofest, and then of course there's still like Venus Berlin, and
Oh, I didn't even know they still did Venus Berlin.
oh of course,
Right.
and then there's lots of other ones going around. I just go to the Prague one.
What are the Euro conventions like? Because obviously Peter and I have never been to them.
I've never been, obviously.
I mean, well, the bigger ones, I actually just went to a newer one that was in Slovenia. I don't normally go to Venus. I'm not a big fan of crowds and like that kind of club atmosphere, but having sex on stage is fine. They normally do a lot of like live sex performances, and people can basically do whatever they want. I did a performance this year, actually. It was my first time on stage, and I pissed on stage and fisted myself. I only lasted on stage for about 15 minutes, and then, I cut it short because I don't really like being on stage, but I at least did that.
You're like, I got mine, I'm out.
I did this. I think that's good enough.
15 minutes is, about 14 and a half minutes longer than I'd last on stage, so
Actually, I started it with pissing. I was like, we're just going to try to take up some time here, and I need to piss, so.
Oh my god.
I tried to get it on like the microphone so they could hear me. I don't know if they could hear it or not. I mean, of course, the people sitting by, but it would have been cool if it was like amplified.
yeah, the people in the splash zone definitely heard it. It was like a Gallagher show. They're like, we got to put up tarps if you're the front row of the Anna Deville show.
Hey.
It's their convention memory forever. It's like, oh, Anna pissed on me indirectly. Oh,
I got the backsplash.
So, yeah, that's basically, what goes on at Czech fests, or no, European fests.
so it's much more of a club environment. It's
Definitely, it feels way more like a sex club. Which, I mean, it's cool for, obviously it's sex work and it's porn. Like I said, personally, I'm not comfortable in a club atmosphere. I don't go to clubs anyways, so I don't generally participate in them, but it's good for the rest of the industry.
it makes sense. Setting up a typewriter in a club's a weird look.
I could probably make it work, but
When they invite you back next time, you should just be pissing and typing.
I could do that. I could just sit there and people could just watch me smoke and type something.
We'll just get you a chair with a hole in the bottom. and just watch you type naked, smoking, and just whenever you got to go, you just go.
I would have to be in like a nice like robe or something, but
That's real
Oh.
performance art.
Right?
that would be cool. Good suggestion.
You write a novella while you're on stage.
We'll see how fast I can type it on a manual, but
I have faith in you. I have faith that you can just knock it out. I mean, it's a novella. It doesn't have to be that, or maybe just a short story.
made some poems.
Yeah, you just write a poem about your experience. The man in the front row just leers at me as the urine trickles down my leg.
The smoke billows in the stage lights.
See? And then you could turn around and sell that and win-win.
True. And then I would probably just piss on it and erase it all together because I always hate what I write anyways. So
Oh my
I
God.
normally just like I'll write for hours on my typewriter and then I end up just throwing them away.
That is the true sign of an artist, of being like, yep, spend hours on this. It's all garbage. Fuck it all.
Right.
I buy lots of stacks of paper and then and also I have a calligraphy set too. And I'll write stuff with my like calligraphy pen. I have like 4 different inks, and then I'm like, okay, throw it away.
So are you out here like doing letters and calligraphy and
Well, like,
sending it off? And
Sometimes I'll like write it, like I'll write something that I'm thinking about, or sometimes if I'm just practicing calligraphy, then I'll write poems or songs just to see how I like it, and then of course, I just throw it away at the end.
see, you're a true artist. It's not like the modern era of artists where it's just like, everything I make is gold. No. Her true artist is like, no, that's crap.
Everything is crap.
Everything is
except for scotch.
But you don't make the scotch.
Well, I hope to eventually.
Well, I know.
I still have that dream. It hasn't died.
I think you can make it. I think at very least maybe we can start bottling DeVille cocktails.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, now canning it seems a little low class for what it is. Like, I imagine like a glass
You
bottle.
didn't say canning it. You said bottling it.
Well, I know. But like a lot of the modern trend in cocktails is like canned cocktails.
No, thank you.
You got to bottle it with calligraphy on the label.
Like hand done, like labels.
Yeah, limited edition. This is bottle.
101, probably up to maybe about like 100 bottles.
That's a lot of pee.
I mean, I don't think that's impossible. It also depends on the size of the bottle.
Yeah, when we can find a brand to collaborate with you on it, so
I don't, I'm not going to settle for less. It would have to be all my piss.
Well, yeah, but the Ville is Scotch and urine, so
Yes.
we got to find a Scotch brand to collaborate with you on it.
That's gonna be the tricky thing, especially since I won't settle for any less than what I love. But maybe we'll get there someday.
Just like show up in Scotland and be like, so I have this idea. I promise you it'll sell. Promise you.
I hope to go back to Isla this year. I haven't been there since my 21st birthday because when I was 22, I had to go back home to take care of some things, and then COVID happened, and that was, 2 years gone. And then last year I was sick for my birthday. I was nauseous and vomiting, so I had to cancel any plans that I had. But actually on my birthday, even though I was like vomiting, I managed to get up and take a Uber into Centrum and got a bottle of Ardbeg and still had my Ardbeg on my birthday despite the fever and vomiting.
Did they not deliver alcohol in Prague?
They do, but just I wanted my Ardbeg.
They won't deliver your Ardbeg to you?
No, they just have like basic alcohol. But actually, speaking about that, I do order alcohol a lot. And so we order from Dami Yidlo, and I'll order from like the grocery section a lot. And the past I'm here now, but like before I went home, it was like the past 2 to 3 months, every time I ordered from them, they started sending me a non-alcoholic cider. And I was like, and it was every single time. And I asked other people in my building who order groceries from Dami Yidlo, and I was like, are you guys getting this too? And it was just me. And I was like, it happened at least like 10 times or something. And I was like, are you trying to like send a message about how much alcohol I'm ordering? Like, you keep sending me non-alcoholic ciders every single time.
They're just trying to keep you a little healthier. A little.
I don't know. It started. I don't know.
They're like, it's kilos of cheese and alcohol. We need to give her a little something that resembles some fruit.
I like fruit too, but I don't know. We'll see if it still keeps happening when I get home.
Hey, you didn't say you didn't drink the cider. I mean,
I
obviously,
used it as a mixer. Definitely.
see, it works out.
Maybe that's what they thought. You needed a mixer.
Maybe. I mean, I would normally just get like if I'm ordering Jameson, I would just get like a lemon sparkling water, but I don't know.
How has Prague life been? Like, is it getting back to normal or?
It's been back to normal for a while now. Like Czech lifted all of their restrictions like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. It was, they had like one of the most intense lockdowns. I think they locked their country like out of every other European country first. Like they shut down, and so it had a pretty intense lockdown for the first year, but then things got back to normal pretty quickly after like a year and a half.
Nice. Do you guys feeling any effects of like the war going on in Ukraine? Is that like affecting shit at all or?
Definitely, of course,
Because I'm just
yeah.
like, we'll bring it way down.
Okay, so I will say, of course, I mean, every European country is like feeling the effects of it. I think Czech Republic has taken in like almost 500,000 refugees. I could be wrong about that, but and then I think Poland has taken in about 1 million refugees.
How many have you taken in?
I haven't. Okay, well, I'm not gonna comment on that. but,
So a couple, at least. Do you remember their names?
I'm not gonna comment.
So okay, she doesn't. Got it.
Anyways, it is. I will say that yes, it's been sad and it's been hard, and it's very privileged of me to say that I don't really want to think about it right now because, of course, there's millions of people that are suffering, but I'd rather not think about it.
Fair enough.
But on this podcast, I would say support Ukraine, make donations. I have friends there; they all appreciate it.
Fuck some lonely Ukrainians. Do your part.
That too.
It's a human need, damn it. Support the troops any way you can.
That's true.
Even if one of you is on your back or knees. The minute the war started, I was swooping through Tinder to be like, let me find a Ukrainian bride. I at least can save one. Anyways, we're going to walk away from that. Yeah. Walk the fuck away from that. Peter, what have you been doing for the last year?
Okay, for the last year, so I found out, like, let's see, probably like last spring sometime that we were going to be returning to Vegas. And
was there a doubt that it wasn't going to happen?
Oh, for sure, there was a doubt. There's definitely.
Oh, that it would ever return, or just like this year?
I mean, we didn't know what was going to be happening, but like we finally got the word that it was happening. And
what made that final decision that it was happening?
I don't know. We just got told that it was happening.
So you're just like,
it was like a draw out of the hat, yes or no?
No, I mean, like we had a staff meeting and.
Okay, so there was a staff meeting.
And we were filled in on what was going to be happening.
Was it one of these staff meetings where like, am I being fired right now or is Aviad coming back? I don't know.
It was a little bit like that. Yeah. So, but I was overjoyed that day. That was the best day of my life that I can remember in a long time.
Well, yeah, not getting fired and like, oh, hey.
And it probably all came crashing down, right?
Oh, no. I mean, but, then at some point it started to become like the reality of, okay, well, we have to pull this off. And how are we going to do it?
So did we pull it off?
Yeah, I feel like we pulled it off.
Well, the audience probably wasn't there, so that's.
No, the audience was there.
Oh, I mean, like my audience.
Your audience.
Yeah, the people that we're talking to right now.
Oh, okay. We have a very small staff compared to what we had the last time we did Vegas. So, I was doing a lot more things that I did before, which is fine. But there were definitely some panicked moments of like, oh God, like this is going to be a disaster. How are we going to do this? How is it going to happen? And like somehow by the grace of God, I don't know, we pulled it off. It happened. It was a real show.
I mean, I feel like you say that every year.
Well, no, but this is.
But I know this year was different.
Different. Yeah.
Definitely.
How much staff does AVN have right now for running the show compared to the previous years, like numbers wise?
Well, I mean, it's more people who like came on. I mean, we had like a number of people who like returned to working on the show, who I haven't seen in a long time, but we brought them back in. So that was good. I mean, I don't know exactly how many people that amounts to, but obviously it's more than our core staff can do because our core staff is literally 5 people.
You guys got a lot done for 5 people, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that deserves a cheers.
Cheers to that.
And there was also it was kind of down to the wire with figuring out what the seating situation was going to be, because I didn't even know until like very soon before the show, like that we were even going to be in the theater that we were in. And like we finally got word just like literally weeks before Vegas.
I don't even want to think about
we were going to be in this big theater, and this was what the situation was going to be. But there were a lot of people who thought that we would have like tables like we traditionally have for that people could buy for like their groups to sit at, and this is not that kind of theater. It's
stadium seating.
It's all, well, it's theater seating. There is no spot for tables in there, so we had to do that differently.
Did you guys just do whole sections for groups, or?
We did. We sold like blocks of seats to people, and just figuring out all the talent seating. I mean, that was.
Well, I can imagine it's like, who can we not sit next to each other?
Well, that's always my job, but it was entirely my job, and it was a very gargantuan job.
So how do you figure out who you can't sit next to each other?
It's one of those things that
you just have to know, be in the know.
You just have to.
Well, yeah, but that's a lot of personalities to keep track of, Peter.
Well,
that's kind of his job.
It's my job.
I know it's your job.
Literally my job.
I'm asking you how you do your job, man.
You got to spend a lot of time on Twitter.
I can see that.
You got to spend a lot of time talking to people, and just sort of like, it's just sort of being aware of what's going on in the industry all the time, and who's fighting with who, and who's broke up with who last week, and like
who's on who's no list, and
right, exactly. Who
like AVN should start like
who's got a lawsuit against who that they should not be sitting anywhere near each other.
AVN should start like a gossip column for like anonymous.
Oh, we used to do something like that years and years ago.
I didn't stop.
It just like that kind of section of AVN.
It was
just kind of went away. Like,
it should come back in 2023. The show came back. The gossip section should come back.
I mean, if we, get some more staff, and that's something that I'm working on right now.
I was gonna ask if you wanted to comment on that or not.
I mean,
since we're on the record here,
trying to find.
I'm the media.
Trying to find a new writer to come work for us.
What in what type of capacity? What type of writer? I know some people.
Well, not a horror writer
from. Horror writer. The same type of writer that I am.
I tried to help, but he kind of just ruled out all of.
They don't take submissions on typewriters, Anna. That's all.
Oh no, I know some other like horror writers and stuff, and like people from out of state, but
That doesn't help
he
me.
wasn't interested.
They have to be able to show up to the office.
They need to be local. Yeah.
All right, all right.
They need to be a journalist. Apparently, they can't.
A journalist?
Yes, we need somebody who can be a journalist.
Peter, do you have a journalism degree?
I did. I don't have a journalism degree, but I did take journalism classes in college.
Okay. So how many classes? Like 1, 2? How many do we need for AVN?
We're laying out.
Did I go to LACC, take a journalism course, and be like, I'm on staff? Fuck yeah. Matt Slayer here in the streets for AVN.
Enough to know some basics of journalism. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I'm out. I'm the media. I'm not a journalist. Fuck. But legitimately, I may know some people that may be interested. So
Good.
Well, let
I'm
me know.
glad that we brought it up.
yeah. What's your feeling about TV staff writers?
Be a TV staff.
No, I
Probably
legitimately.
the same way that he feels about horror writers.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean,
Oh,
like,
so they're better.
it depends on what kind of TV writer you're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about somebody who writes sitcoms, I don't.
Actually, the person I'm thinking of off the top of my head writes true crime, and
Okay, so more similar on like.
well, that's not horror. That's like actual investigative journalism stuff.
That's cool. That's actually pretty cool. I would read articles from them.
I mean, yeah, I'm into true crime stuff, but it's
Everyone is.
exactly.
Basically, it's kind of gone to like that point.
It's crazy, especially in like the white woman demographic. I may be talking broadly.
Oh yeah, no,
The amount of white women were like, "Oh, a bunch of people got murdered. Let me hear all about it."
very true, very true.
I don't know. I was already like, I don't know. I read a lot.
I am a white woman.
I mean,
Anyway.
and you're a trendsetter in that regard. I'm sure you were way ahead of the curve before all the other white women got on board.
Oh, going back to like, in school, I remember when Richard Ramirez died, and I was in my science class, and I was like reading on my iPod beneath like the table, and I saw that I was like, Richard Ramirez died, and I never like worked up. I don't like worked up the courage to like send him like a letter
Oh.
because I thought it would like I had questions, but like I thought he would just think that I was stupid and not even respond. So I never even sent a letter. And then I saw that he died, and I was like, well,
I know it's not Richard Ramirez, but BTK is still alive. You could write him.
eh,
Like he went to church. He's not as cool. He didn't have a pentagram on his palm.
I'm stuck on that. She was looking at her iPad under
iPod,
iPod.
which are apparently non-existent now.
Yeah, it's just iPhones.
Wait, well, it must have been like one of those touch iPods.
It was.
Okay.
It was like
We're old, Peter. Yes.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you say iPod, I'm thinking about the little.
Well, with the
Well,
dial and
I had that one too. I had one of those too, and I still have my Walkman that I still use.
what are you playing on your Walkman?
CDs. I have. We
that's-
just went to
that's a-
CD Trader the other.
That's a
day.
Discman. That's not a Walkman.
True.
There's a major difference. Walkman plays tapes.
Correct.
Okay, I don't know which one.
You have a
I
Discman.
guess it's a Discman.
Yeah.
I was about to say like Walkman's from our youth.
Right.
I listened to tapes too as a kid, but no, I don't have the portable one. It's for CDs.
I always found with the Discman like they fucking skip because movement and
Always.
CDs are not great.
Right.
Well, like just like
Did you say CDs aren't great?
no, CDs are great.
Okay.
Movement and CDs are not great. Like because the laser will skip if you move too much.
Right.
I mean, I take mine when I'm flying.
Well, yeah, that's fine,
That's
but
different.
Well,
like an old school Walkman was meant for like running and like
Right.
actual
Fair.
like movement. And like the first time I had a Discman that I walked around with in the 90s at one point. It's like,
Yeah, you can't go running with a disc.
I mean, you can. It just won't be the best
Right.
listening experience. And then I went all digital and never looked back. And I know CDs are better quality.
I like to hook up my Discman to my stereo and with an aux cord, and it sounds way better.
Oh, it does. Fucking digital music's compressed to all fuck. But unless you're listening to it on like a good stereo system or high-end headphones, you can't tell the difference. The minute you plug it into a real stereo, it's like, oh yeah, this is night and fucking day.
Same with vinyl too. I met some people in Berlin like this last year, and they had a record player, and they had a lot of like 80s, like post-punk, and then like classic rock and disco. Like they had a huge collection, and it was so nice, like chilling there and drinking and like listening to those like records on on vinyl. It was amazing. They sounded so good.
Oh, they sound good, and the people that like get into record collecting just get fucking deep into it.
They were super into record collecting and also into making cocktails. They had like a huge like cabinet of different like, alcohols and liqueurs and mixers and stuff. And so that was
Goes hand in hand.
great.
I don't know. I have a lot of booze, not so much records.
They had a huge book of like
Yeah, but if you
cocktail
had a lot of
recipes.
records, you'd definitely be into cocktail making.
I have a record now. I just got a record as a gift, and I have a Styx record somewhere that I just bought because I really loved that album. So maybe
Which album?
it was Paradise Theater. It was the first album I listened to by them.
Nice. Do you have a record player though?
No, that's what I was saying. Maybe since I have that one, I mean, that's at home with my parents in Oregon, and I just got a vinyl from a band that I know. I went to their show in Riverside just like a couple weeks ago, and they gave me like a record as a gift. So I don't know. I got two now, so maybe I should get a like a record player, and start collecting vinyls.
So you're gonna bring your record player and your typewriter on the plane with you?
No, I'll just well, depends on where I buy it and how I fit it into my suitcase.
Just take it as a personal. I'm like, this is
Well, no, my dog is my personal item, so that's automatically rolled out.
no, just be like, this is my support record player. This is my support animal. They both have to come with me. You can't discriminate against me, fucking airlines. These are support items. You legally can't do this. I have to bring my record player. It's not a choice.
That'd be a tough one to get over on them.
I mean, my typewriter, I probably could have worked that out because, it's still in like its box. So, it closes and like locks, and it has, it has a handle. So it's about the size of like, a personal item. But no, I just put that in. It was pretty fucking heavy. So I just put that in my suitcase. But I had it all like before I took it to Prague. I took it to, there's still a typewriter shop in Portland that I took it to. So I had it all like, they blew it out. So they got all the dust off, and, they cleaned it up and gave me a new ink ribbon. So it's nice.
Of course, there's a typewriter shop in Portland. Of course. Of course there is.
Wait, she's never seen Portlandia?
Really?
No.
I mean, do you really want... I mean, I guess that's not fair. You love stories about the Valley. So...
Yeah.
Fish pizza, I know, has become like your absolute favorite.
Yeah, well, of the past several years, for sure, yeah.
I was about to say, like, do you really want to watch stories about your things you know personally? But I guess in your case, you definitely do.
Of course.
I don't watch shows that much in general, so I just rewatch the same movies over and over again.
I mean, you would if there was a TV show about the town that you grew up in, wouldn't you have some inkling of curiosity?
Well,
No, I'm from Chicago. There's a lot of movies.
Well,
about...
okay.
Technically, it's a city, and technically, I am not from Portland either. So, I mean, I worked in Portland, and, I could go into Portland if I wanted to, but I'm from Beaverton, so...
Okay, well, close enough.
Home of Nike, right?
Beaverton, yes, is the home of Nike. I used to live right down the street.
So when the Nike documentary comes out...
It was actually really fucking annoying living down the street from, like, the Nike campus, because I remember one day I was trying to go to work, and I was taking the bus, and, like, I was walking out, and, like, the streets were completely packed, like, full and blocked off, and, like, the buses were gone, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it was, I guess, like, I think it was Obama that was visiting the Nike campus, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, I need to get to work.
Obama fucked up your day getting a new pair of Air Force Ones? That's really fucked up.
Wait, okay, so you're from Chicago. Are you telling me you're not into the Blues Brothers?
I mean, because it's a classic movie, not because it's... And like, that's
Chicago
more...
10.
Yeah, like, it's... Like, that movie's great no matter where you're from. Like, that... But I'm not sitting around watching Chicago Fire or Chicago PD.
Fair enough.
Or Oprah.
Is
They film it in Chicago, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Oprah has... Harpo Studios is actually pretty big real estate in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm not watching Springer. That was taped in Chicago too. I'm actually kind of bummed I never went to a Springer taping, but you can just sign up and go.
Should have.
I should have. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I definitely should have just gone to a Springer taping.
Absolutely.
I think Chicago is actually, I'm not sure, but I think that's also where, when we were talking about the Paradise Theater album, isn't the Paradise Theater in Chicago? I might be wrong about that, but
Chicago has a really nasty habit of changing landmark names. There are very few things that have stood the test of time, so it very well could have been there at one point. Like, the only venues that really have kept their names over like the course of history is like Wrigley Field.
I kind of want to look it up.
Ferris Bueller.
Well, yeah, but that's but like once again, great movie, just a great movie. So what you're just saying is a lot of great movies are set in Chicago.
Oh, shit.
True enough.
But like venue wise, the Aragon Ballroom, the Metro, and Wrigley Field are like the only things that have, and maybe the Riviera are like the only things that have kept their names since like their founding. Comiskey Park, which is, I don't even know what they fucking call it anymore. It's changed like names like 5 times. The Rosemont Horizon is now the Allstate Arena.
Shit out of me.
They tore down the Chicago Theater and turned it into the United Center. Like, Chicago doesn't keep its fucking landmark. Like, it's to the highest fucking bidder. You'd think that would be more of an LA thing. I mean, it is to a degree. It is the Crypto.com arena now.
Right.
Which, it was the Staples Center before. Like, I love that we have such loyalty to a brand name for an office supply company.
It is. Okay, the album is a fictional account of Chicago's Paradise Theater from its opening in 1928 to its closing in 1958.
Well, that would be why.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not quite that old, Anna.
Oh, well, I was just, because we were talking about Chicago and then Paradise, I just made, like, the connection in my head. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's, like, the picture on that album.
Are the guys from Styx even that old? Fuck.
Styx is from the 70s.
Yeah, that means they're, like, born in the early 50s.
Right.
They're still touring. They fucking rock, but I've seen them several times.
Yeah, like, I know the band's from the 70s, but, like, for a theater that closed in 58, that means they were very young when it closed.
You were talking about when the theater closed. Well, I guess it was just, like, I don't know. Cool.
Maybe one of them saw their first show there.
It has just been, like, a concept.
Yeah.
It's a cool fucking album cover, so, you know.
Oh, I'm not knocking it. It's just, it seems odd to, like, romanticize and do a fictional piece about a place that you've never...
A lot of people do that. I don't think that's odd at all.
A little.
I'm sure you romanticize about a lot of things that you've never been to.
I mean, yes, most of my porn browsing history, but... Kidding. Well, no, but...
You would romanticize that or sexualize it?
There's a difference? Oh, shit. Fuck. Called out. Yeesh. A lot of people romanticize, times, places, but they're like super well documented places. Like people retelling stories about World War II or World War I or like the Spanish Civil War, shit like that. But there's a lot of documentation about it. Like, I don't know how much documentation there is about like the Paradise Theater in Chicago.
Right.
I've never looked into it further than that. I just know that because I always kind of wanted to go to that theater, so I wondered where they got the inspiration from, and that's why I know that it was that theater.
Well, I'm curious now, like, if there's, I'm Googling real quick. It was in West Garfield Park.
That was the theater. I always wanted to go to that and the Bat Cave. I went to London when I was 18, and the first thing I did was I went to Camden Town, and I went to, like, the first Gothic shop that I saw, and I asked them, I was like, is the Bat Cave still open? I can't find any information about it. And they told me they were like, it closed 1 year ago. It closed last summer, and it like almost broke my heart. I was so close to getting to go to the Bat Cave.
Aw.
Well,
Camden sounds fun, though. It is a good time. But that's a bummer.
Is.
Have you been back recently, or?
To
Camden?
I've been there a few times.
When was the last time you were there?
It's actually been a while. I was in London it was almost a year ago. I think it was last year or the year before, but I flew to London and then I took a train down to I don't know, somewhere south to shoot for Harmony, and I didn't spend any time in London, but before that, I think it was like 3, 4 years ago, because my cousin lived near Camden.
Nice. London, it's been, Jesus Christ, it's been a decade. I'm going to be dead soon. So dead. Wow. It's been a decade since I've been to London.
Well, I've never been there, so.
Well, you can fix that, Peter.
He's never fucking visited me either. It's been like over 5 years, but
Why have you never visited her, Peter? Why?
Because that would require me buying a plane ticket to go to Europe.
Yeah, I mean, we could buy you a plane ticket to go to Europe right now. It's really not that hard to do.
It's really not. I book a lot of friends' tickets. It's really not.
Well, why haven't you booked Peter a ticket then?
Because he can pay for it, or he can have some company pay for it. But I'll book it definitely.
Aren't you independently wealthy now? You can't just get Peter a Spirit Airlines flight to...
Maybe I'll do that for your birthday.
Do it for your birthday.
Oh no, my birthday is going to Isla.
Well, book him a flight to Isla, and then you guys can go back to Prague.
Okay,
Europe, it's not far.
I don't think he wants to go on that trip with me because since I found out a way that I can take my dog to the UK, which is not easy because he's not a service animal. So in the UK, their like flight regulations are that, if it's not a service animal, it has to go in cargo.
Why is he not a service animal at this point?
I don't really have an answer for that. Maybe I'll do it. I've never really had a problem like taking him between European countries and America because he has both microchips in his passport. So that's been simple enough. But going to the UK, I refused to put him in cargo, but I found out, I think this was last year. So if I fly to Paris, and in Paris, I can rent a car and I'll drive it to Calais, and then I get onto the Channel. And from the Channel, I stay on, it's about like a half-hour ride. And then we get off in like Folkestone. And then I can drive up to London. And I'm in the UK. And so then after getting off at Folkestone, then, from there, I could go to London, work there for a bit. And then I drive up to Kennicreg, where I can take the ferry to Isla. And I can get my dog into Scotland and onto Isla with me. And then I have to do the whole trip back again to drop off the car.
Yeah,
So I don't know how much Peter really wants to go on that.
That sounds like a massive adventure, Peter. Come on.
Does sound like a massive adventure.
It's worth it. I can't wait this year. I can't wait to take my dog to.
Especially if she's doing all the driving, you can drink the whole way.
That's true.
Like, Europe's much cooler about drinking in the car.
Right.
You're totally welcome to drink, like have open bottles. I've been in Ubers where they have like in Prague where they have like different shots, like the little mini shot bottles and like beers in the back seat. Like if you think of cool Ubers here that have snacks or waters, like they have shots.
Jesus.
When I was in Spain, like the first thing I got told by my friends I got was like, "Oh, it's perfectly legal to be drinking as a passenger of the car." I drank the whole fucking drive.
Of course it is.
I mean, it was bad. I got off the plane smelling like a still in the first place. I'm like, oh, I can just keep drinking. Let's do this. 3-hour drive down to the Mediterranean coast, just road soda the whole way.
Damn.
It's fun,
right?
Road tripping in Europe is like completely different. You should come. You would enjoy it. You can at least fly into like Glasgow, and I could pick you up in Glasgow, and then we could drive to Kennicreg, and then you can make the trip back to Prague with me. So that would cut like the time in half.
I mean, you could do a whole article for AVN about like
he doesn't like Isla though, so he doesn't like peated scotch. So
he could suck it up for a trip.
He wouldn't even appreciate it.
I wouldn't even.
He would appreciate the experience. He might not appreciate the booze.
He would embarrass me because I'm just going there for the distilleries, and he would
definitely embarrass her.
I mean, that's what friends are for, right?
Not there. Not there.
I mean, Peter would be on his best behavior. For the audio audience, the side eyes between the two of them. Like, maybe not.
I think he's well aware of that.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm not going to be well behaved.
But always well behaved.
Okay.
Look at me.
Yes, Mr. Formal.
I believe you, Peter. I believe you.
Good.
I choose to believe you.
Good.
It's a direct choice.
It is a direct choice against every fiber of my being. Every molecule in my body and every gut instinct's like, you shouldn't believe this. You've known Peter Warren for many years. You should not believe this. But here I am, stating on the record that I believe this.
Okay.
He has faith in you.
I'm glad.
Momentarily. This is America. You're innocent until proven guilty. This time.
Exactly. I was just talking about that.
In what regard?
I don't want to say.
Oh, God.
So again, no comment.
AVN gossip column it is. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there definitely is. Adult Twitter's been very interesting in the last couple days.
Oh, yeah.
Has it? I barely see anything on Twitter anymore. Like, my notifications are gone. I'm surprised that I even saw your, notifications. I actually didn't even get your notification. I only saw his. It just doesn't show up on, my Twitter anymore. Like, from anyone that I follow, any mentions, it's just, not there. And, my news feed is just, bullshit. I don't see anything on Twitter.
Elon, you did great things with the platform. They're like the one remote bastion where we could operate
Wait, is that
properly.
how you pronounce his name?
Mhm.
Oh, I thought it was Ellen.
Elon Musk.
Wait, really? It's Elon?
Elon, yeah.
Elon. Okay, good to know. I've been thinking in my head every time I thought it was Elon Musk.
That would be funny.
It would be funny. The world's richest man, Elon Musk.
I mean, so you learn something new every day. Elon.
And Now We Drink It is an educational show. I said it with a straight face even. Shit.
You couldn't hold it.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably only an education on my bad habits.
Mine too. Clearly, this is...
Yeah, before we got on air, Anna's like, oh, I'm not going to drink all that much. And
No, you said that. I never said that.
I seem to recall, I've been behaving is what she...
Well, I have been, and you can ask him. I have not been drinking half a liter a day.
What's that in American terms?
True.
How about, half a bottle?
Oh, I know. I'm just...
This is 0.75 liter, I think.
Yeah, it's a 750.
750 milliliter. So...
It's okay. I'm not here to stop you from drinking half a liter of scotch.
I know. Well, so, it's okay for... tonight, but at least I'm not making it a normal habit anymore, especially, when I'm at home drinking and at my typewriter or at my calligraphy or sewing, it's just
Why? The inspiration, a little bit of alcohol helps with the inspiration.
a little bit, sure, but, you have to, especially at my size.
Yeah, you have a tolerance. Don't give us that shit. You have a tolerance.
Tolerance does not mean it's healthy.
Yeah.
I'll advocate a little bit for this, but I'm done with that now. Fuck it. I want to drink.
Then drink. I am not here to stop you.
I am quite happily doing that, but I also
Awesome.
do want to take full advantage of this time to smoke another cigarette because I'm getting my teeth whitened tomorrow, and I have a 2-day white diet and no smoking. I need to get some nicotine patches, and I am drinking, so obviously I would really like a clove right now if we can take a little break.
Yeah, we can take a pause for a clove.
Thank you.
And we are going to pause for a clove.
Okay.
And we're back. Anna's had her clove. Apparently it's destroyed one of my pillows during the first hour of this podcast.
I apologize. It was pretty warm, and I don't wear underwear, so...
I know. I'm painfully aware. And it...
Painfully?
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
It's not bad. It's figure of speech. I'm very aware.
I don't wear bras or panties unless I'm getting paid for it.
Makes sense. Those things aren't free. You should be paid to have them.
It is warm though, especially after drinking scotch.
Yeah.
I wore this for outside, but this is actually used to be my mother's top.
Aw.
I have some of her clothes. I like it. She gave it to me. But we don't need that inside. Okay.
It's true. Unfortunately, because studio setting and recording, there's no air conditioning running, so it gets a little warm.
Sorry.
And it's beating up my microphones.
We talked about this, so I have never broken anything.
Yeah.
Despite all of this, so.
She did say yet. And she's like, I'm going to just kick that camera, and I'm very happy.
I can't promise anything, but.
I know. I know.
Ay.
I know. I'm just nervously, like, can we make it through the whole podcast? If she breaks something, will at least be after we're done recording and everything's saved.
Right.
I did have a guest last year kick the power cord out of that camera and like completely lose my camera for the whole episode.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So it's a really weird video version of just me talking off camera to her.
Wow.
Or sometimes I'd cut to my camera and I would just film the separate footage of me shaking my head. Didn't even attempt to sync up the audio to it. It's just, cuts to me.
Good. So I have some standards. I hope that.
She also dropped her iPhone off my balcony. So
Jesus.
How much did she have?
fair amount.
Drink?
And once again, this show is self-service. So I'm not here to stop or tell you how much to drink. I merely place a bottle and a glass in front of you.
I mean, I kind of like that, this show, particularly for us, it doesn't stop until, he has to still be able to drive us home. I can get as inebriated as I want to.
Right.
And you have in previous years.
I have. The tolerance has only gone up, so unfortunately.
Unfortunately, there's a whole nother bottle.
I know, and I'll finish this one, I'm sure, on this podcast, and we can crack open the new one, and it'll be here for me next year.
I think you already did kill this one.
I did. It's in this glass.
She's working on it, folks.
Not much left.
She'll get there.
She will.
Oh, I appreciate the support.
We're here to help. We are here to help. I mean, both me and Peter are, very big whiskey advocates.
Yeah.
That's a very good magazine. I don't know if it's still in publication or not.
Why aren't you writing for Whiskey Advocate? I'd be much more interested in what you had to write.
Nah. I wouldn't have the knowledge.
Well, how else do you gain it? I don't think you had all the porno knowledge before you started writing for AVN.
Oh, I did.
But in order to write for Whiskey Advocate, then you'd also have to.
I didn't have
start
all the
writing
porno
more.
knowledge, but I had a lot.
You'd have to also not be biased. You have to have a full palate and appreciation for bourbon and whiskey and different two types of whiskey.
I don't know if they let him write for AVN while he's pretty biased.
Yeah, true.
So maybe he can, be biased with whiskeys too. So where did all this?
Why am I not writing for them?
I don't know. Why aren't you?
I don't know if they're still in publication. I have a lot of their magazines though.
Well, I'm going to research to see if they're still writing stuff. Peter, where did all this porno knowledge come from before you started for AVN?
It's probably not wise for me to speak on that.
Oh? Okay.
Some things are better left unsaid.
Yeah.
So wait, I just want to check in. So you guys are enjoying this bottle. It was a good recommendation.
It's horrible. The worst I've ever... Whiskey Advocate is definitely still a thing.
Yo?
Yeah. You can get 1 year for 1 year subscription for only $22.
Yo, I had a subscription when I lived in Los Angeles, and I took all those magazines. I have them I have some. I have on my bookshelf, I have 2 shelves dedicated to my scotch and whiskey and my magazines and my books. And then I also have some of the magazines in my bathroom. So if I just want to sit on the toilet and I can read Scotch Advocates, or I have some haunted places too, those magazines.
Why is there not a photographer just following you at all times? You just sound like you just have this magical life, that could just be so captured and so cinematic, just like Anna just sitting on a toilet. I don't know, for whatever reason, the minute you're in Prague, I just feel like you have a clove dangling out of your mouth at all times.
I do, actually. I use my sink to ash.
But I just have this vision of you sitting on a toilet with clove dangling out of your mouth, reading a magazine. You're you don't have underwear, so there's not the visual of your underwear around your ankles. But I feel like that would be part of the shot.
No, but I am small enough, so if I'm spending enough time in the bathroom, I can squat on the toilet and read my magazine and smoke, and I ash it in the sink. Well,
I just imagine you in this very pretty outfit, clove dangling out of your mouth, reading. As part of my vision, you do have underwear around your ankles, but I know someone would have to pay you for that shoot at that point.
Exactly.
Right.
But Peter, do you have that vision? Could you imagine that?
Oh, I can totally see it.
Something with some fur around the collar, like a night coat,
I collect, like, actually, it was not ever my intention, but I realized that, like, probably most of my money goes. I love lingerie and, like, of course, like, vintage, like, just any type of clothing, but I have more bathrobes than I ever expected to have. And I don't know like why that. I just buy a lot of them. I really love my lounge clothes at home, particularly bathrobes. I have a very nice one at his apartment that my dog loves to lay in when I am not there. I have my velvet and like the floral. It's like silk on the inside and it's like a floral prints, and then it's velvet on the outside and it has like a cutout in the back that's really pretty. I wear that all the time. I think
See,
it was like 500 euro, which is not, it's eh.
I don't think I
But
own
I
a
mean,
single
when
thing
you're,
that's worth 500
when,
euros that I
no,
wear.
when you're naked and you're not wearing underwear and you're just sitting in like a silk and velvet bathrobe, I'm sorry, but like there's no feeling that's comparable to that.
See, this should be a photo shoot.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It would be.
I've learned something about Anna and her dog during this trip.
This trip,
Yes.
we always stay with you. What's new?
That her dog is sort of tied to her like in a like an E.T. and Elliot kind of way. It has like a sixth sense of what's happening with her at all times. And like as one example, it like if I just come and walk into my apartment by myself, he's just sitting there, pays no attention, like has no like could not care less that somebody is walking in the door. If she's there, he knows before we walk in the door.
Yeah, you probably can smell her.
That she's there, and he is sitting there waiting with bated breath at the door for her to walk in. That's example number one.
I mean, dogs have very sensitive sense as well. I'm not saying you smell Anna. I'm just saying, like, dogs, dogs can be trained to smell cancer, so they can definitely cloves. That's Anna.
But more significantly, he knows when she's fucked up.
Oh my god, he really...
And I mean, like, and to the point, he's like frightened of her when she's fucked up. Like, doesn't even want to go, like, gives her like the look of death.
He does.
Doesn't want to go anywhere near her.
He
Has his
stares.
tail tucked between his legs.
He stares at me and like he looks like extremely mad at me, and I've tried to take him, even in Prague, like I try to take him up to my bed and like I'll tuck him in and I give him treats and his toy in my bathrobe, and it's like he's still like, I can hear him scratching at the door, and then I take him downstairs because he insists on not sleeping, and then he'll sit in a chair across from me and just stare at me. And he looks extremely upset. He's like, why the fuck are you like this?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. I mean, the dog's been in your life a long time. Now, if you could only find a man that will react the same way.
I'd rather a man not just sit and stare at me without saying anything.
You say that now. Down the road, be like,
No,
I really wish you would just shut the fuck
well,
up.
I mean, actually, so like I've had some interactions with a lot of people that I can't even talk to that I use Google Translate with. So like the fact of like not speaking or not understanding is one thing, but just sitting there silently staring is
Okay, I guess that could be a little
like
creepy.
right now he would be probably in that chair and he would just be like,
Yeah.
Mom, are you getting fucked up right now? Oh, it's gonna be a long night. Oh.
okay. And the thing is too is that when I get fucked up, he knows when I am fucked up and he knows how to respond to what I'm doing, and it makes I start getting paranoid. And I have spent like 1,000 euro vet bill because I got fucked up and he started, acting weird. And I was like, oh my God, like something's wrong. And I took him to get like his blood drawn, his like lungs checked, like x-rays of his heart and like the sounding and like
Wait, you sounded your dog?
no, not
Wait,
at
wait,
all.
what?
No. Like like his heart, like what is it when they do like for
Stethoscope.
stethoscope?
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
no,
sounding's a
no,
completely
not
different thing.
not a stethoscope. It's like when you're pregnant and they do like the
Mammogram?
that stuff and like
CT scan on the.
I had like him like his dental work, like he was knocked out and they took x-rays of his mouth and to make sure, it wasn't like he had a problem with eating because none of his teeth were inflamed. He didn't need any teeth removed and they did cleaning and like they were just like there's nothing wrong with your dog. And
I got the sense that he's kind of like looking at her like this is not my mom. Like this is somebody else.
Oh no, he's well aware. He just like, and he knows that he gets attention when I start getting paranoid.
See,
And you saw that too. And I put food and like treats, and I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong? Here's so many treats, and like here's so much. And then he just like, I've like ground up. I'm a vegetarian. I've started like buying like meats before when I get worried about him if he won't take a treat, and I'll buy like beef and like ground beef and like mix it with eggs and fry it and like give it, and he's like, I've gone to very extreme lengths and he's just milking it when I'm fucked up. He like really is.
that dog is living a much healthier and better life than I am. Jesus, like,
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I got nearly that much medical attention.
Oh yeah, no. He gets a lot of attention of all.
Even like since I've been here, he freaked me out and I took him to like the vet and I was just like, I'm nervous. And they're like, there's literally nothing wrong with him at all.
Since he can tell when you're fucked up, you got to train him how to be able to bring you water when you're fucked up. Like a St. Bernard with a little barrel. Here, Mom, you need water. That'd be amazing. He knows, so why not?
I mean, he's not that big. He does like sometimes, not necessarily when I'm fucked up. If I have like, I don't know, something with anxiety or something, he does come up like, I've had times where I've been like laying down and, I've been having anxiety and he kind of comes up, he'll come like around my back and pushes me up and will like, and if I'm nauseous, like sometimes he lays on my stomach and like, I adopted him, and I actually sometimes it makes me feel like he was like a service animal with his last owner.
Aw. Where'd you get
But I
him?
don't. There was a shelter in what was it, Canoga, Woodland Hills, somewhere over there. It was here in LA. I adopted him. He had been in the shelter for 8 months, and it was actually I don't know if I ever talked about it. It was a really fun story. I don't know if you remember it.
I don't know the story.
So, we'll get into this story. When I had been staying with Spiegler, when, I began doing porn, and then I got my first apartment here. Like, it was before I was 19, so I was still 18. And I was going to a shelter to like talk to them about their foster program. So, just like rehabilitating dogs or cats before they get a new home. And my Uber driver, before I had a car or my license, they saw that, oh, you're going to the shelter. My daughters have been asking about getting a dog. Do you care if I come in with you? And I was like, asking if like I don't think they're stalking me or anything.
Right.
And I was like, sure, like of course you can come in. And so me and my Uber driver go into the shelter, and my Uber driver ends up finding a dog that he wants to adopt. And then he tells me that you should get a dog too. And that was not my intention at all, but I was like, okay, well, let's look. And so we went into the back, there's all the kennels, and I saw like a little white terrier, and I asked one of the workers, like, can we take this dog out so, I can see him? And this little like white terrier started getting like so excited when they were undoing the lock of the kennel that he started running in circles around like the cage, and he pulled the blanket off Jamie, who was sound asleep under like the blanket that I didn't even know he was in that kennel. And around like 100 barking dog, I was like, I want that one. And so we had to go into the kennel. We had to literally like pull him out of the kennel because he just wanted to lay in his bed. And are taking him out of his kennel, and we put him on the floor, and then he walked straight back into the kennel. And he just wanted to go back to bed under the covers. And my thought was, I was like, I'm going to force you to love me. And I adopted Jamie and took him home. And my Uber driver gave me a free ride home. I have a photo of us, like, in our 2 dogs in the back seats. And since then, it's been some work. Jamie really didn't want anything to do with people. It took like a few months, but now like we're very attached. I take him everywhere. I think he's been to like 10 or more countries.
He's better traveled than most Americans.
Most of the population in general, I think.
Yeah, probably. I feel like Europeans travel a lot more than us.
That is true. But I really hope that for that Uber driver that his dog worked out, because I got very lucky. He didn't have any problems. Like, he definitely is attached, but he doesn't destroy anything. He doesn't.
Unlike mom.
He doesn't, like shit or piss or like.
Unlike mom.
Also, like around like the apartment when I'm not there. He just kind of lays there and waits for me.
All he does, he just lays there and waits for her.
He doesn't really like eat or drink. He just waits.
And if we can only find a man for you like that, sits around and waits for you all day.
So as long as they don't sit there and they can be quiet, but don't stare at me like uncomfortably when I'm like drunk or something, and then I start getting paranoid.
And then take him to the vet. Got it.
Take him to the vet, start buying like the best meat that I can find, even though I know nothing about it.
Whoa! You may get someone to sign up when you're like, I'll buy him the best meat possible if he makes me paranoid.
Well, I start texting my friends. I'm like, how do I cook this? I'm like, I have no idea what to do. I'm like, can you please give me recommendations on like how to? I chopped up this steak and I'm actually touching it, which is disgusting. But like, can you please give me some recommendations on like what to do, because I honestly have no idea. Like I said, he milks it.
He's a smart dog.
Too smart.
Like I go through a little discomfort, get poked and prodded by some strange men, but then I get steak. See, that's how good steak
throughout
is.
The entire time, and he won't eat the steak. And at that point, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm taking him to the vets. Because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Why are you not eating this steak or something?
Maybe he has a doctor fetish.
And it's like he'll be at like acting weird, and then they take him into the back room and they're like, he's fine. If you want to like, pay for like a more thorough examination, you can. But they're like, he was acting fine back there. Like, he's like walking around. He's like, curious. He's fine. I'm like, but then he gets back to me and he's like,
That's a funny little dog.
Peter, have you adopted any strange animals lately?
No.
None?
Nope.
I think he should get I think like a hamster would be good for you.
No hamster.
I think I could see you with a hamster.
I could not see me with a hamster.
Could you?
Yeah, I could, but the rumors going around the internet would be real wild.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about what that implies, because
It's exactly what you think it means.
no, I have no idea even. I'm not thinking about
I don't know
it.
anything about Richard Gere.
I do have some ideas though about what happens in American Psycho, but anyways, in the novel. Anywho, I was just telling you the other day, it made me very happy when I went in to take Jamie and I bought some more dog food and some treats, and I saw the hamsters, and it was morning, and so they were asleep in their little like thing, and I went up to them and I was just like, poke, and one of them like woke up and it came out to see me, and it put its little paw on like the glass. And so when I was checking out, I asked the like lady, I was like, can I like pet the hamster? She's like, sure. And she opens like the cage or like, I don't know, whatever you call it, the tank. And like, I put my hand down and like, I stroke his little head that came out to say hi to me. And she said, that's the first time they've never tried to bite anyone.
Aw.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that makes me feel very special.
That's some Disney princess shit right there. And it's just running through the forest. The animals are singing to her, not trying to bite her.
It was just like, it was like, and they came out and they were like very sweet. And like, it gave me its little paw and I like petted a little bit. And she was like, you're the first person they didn't try to bite.
I don't even know where to go from there. I just don't.
Well, I mean, you can't really, like, I don't know. It's so cute.
I know, it's so wholesome. Like, what is happening here?
I
What
try
is
to-
happening on this show that it's wholesome all of a sudden?
I try
happening?
to show him like wholesome videos all the time of like bunnies and hamsters. Or me and Valentina were trying to show him wholesome videos of like little baby like spiders. I took a spider out of his apartment the other day. He didn't want to keep it. It was like a little tiny baby wolf spider. And he should have left it because it's
Why would
good.
I want to keep it?
Because it's good for your home and you're not going to see other bugs. You should just.
You need a new
I've
roommate,
had-
Peter. That's all.
Like I've had like Philip. I've had in like my bathroom when you have like the spiders and you like your. I've had like Philip the third or fourth. You know.
Wait, you've had British royalty and
Well, I call there's Philip the first, and then there's the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. The spiders come and go, but I just leave them there, and we'll go away for a bit, and then a new one comes. And I tell my cleaner that I hire that you can dust and everything, but like leave the cobwebs because I want new spiders to feel at home.
in the
And
graveyards of the previous spiders. It's wild. Very goth. Very goth.
I have a lot of cobwebs, but I don't have any other bugs in my apartments. I never see anything else. It's just like sometimes the spiders come and go and there are cobwebs, but like
Speaking of goth, I kept telling her, I realize it's been done already in porn, but with the popularity of Wednesday, the Netflix show, I'm like, if anybody's gonna play Wednesday, like she's kind of born for it. But she kept saying, "What is Wednesday? What are you talking about?" I'm like,
I don't
really?
even know days of the week, so I didn't, and I don't watch TV. I didn't know what he was talking about.
The Addams Family? Really?
Well, when he says Addams Family, of course I recognize Wednesday, but he was like, "Why have you not watched Wednesday?" And I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
I mean, it's almost.
I don't
kinda-
even know what day it is today. It's the 30th.
It is a Monday,
Okay.
but like the Wednesday Addams thing has been shot a lot.
That's
a
what I'm
lot.
saying. It's been done. All I'm saying is like,
We need new goth icons. God damn it!
if somebody was gonna do like this version of Wednesday, who better for the part?
I haven't watched it, but that makes me feel very special, and I appreciate it.
I mean, the setup could be like, so it's on brand for Anna is like all the Addams are step families, and then you have a whole Addams Family gangbang with it.
I mean, I feel like I basically already do that for Perverse Family.
Yeah, kind of.
You could get someone to do CGI work and have a disembodied hand inside you as well.
I mean, we've done.
Ah, they could actually. Their editor is like ridiculous. He could do that.
Thank you. I told them what you said about the horror porn and alien invaders. They were very happy to hear that about their editing. They do have an amazing editor. He's Peter Strovic. He's in his 20s, and he's phenomenal.
So what did he edit that he could do this? Like,
Okay, so the thing we're not going to say what we edit or don't. You can believe it or not.
well, if there's an alien thing, I'm assuming that's
so
editing.
horror porn is completely different from Perverse Family, and I would say that most of the majority of everything on Perverse Family is completely real. We have had some CGI, and we've had some mistakes that went into the movies, but we're not going to say what.
That doesn't
It
matter.
is.
The point is that this guy could do thing, 100%.
Peter Strovic.
Yeah.
You're an amazing editor. Thank you, Peter, for recognizing it.
Well, then you should do it because that would be the first Wednesday porn that had that.
Yeah.
Horror porn does a lot. Their gist is that they do, porn parodies and stuff like that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll start doing that this year. I can recommend it.
Because there's been plenty of Wednesday Addams porn parodies, but one where a thing is actually in the mix.
right. That would be new.
Yeah, that would be new.
Yeah, I can recommend it when I get home.
If you had the ability to, do all the effort to rotoscope everything out but the hand, God.
They do, actually.
Because I know how labor intensive that is. As someone who edits, like,
It's actually insane how labor intensive and like how far they will go with their budget and what they do.
I mean, you should see the thing that they did that we nominated for editing this year. It is an alien thing, but it looks like Independence Day. It's like,
tell us about it. Shit.
Watch it. I mean,
Well, yeah, but like, tell the audience about it. Like,
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
It's what's the name of it? It's
Alien Invasion.
Alien Invasion. Yeah, it's like I've never seen such advanced like special effects in a porn movie in my life. Like, it's absolutely insane.
Did it
It
win?
makes
It did not win, sadly.
How did it not win?
Well, I don't know.
we've talked about this. That, like, I
I
feel
don't know,
like
but it didn't win.
the
But,
voter panel kind of like disregards.
I mean, maybe it got disregarded because it was just a featurette as opposed to a full feature. But it's on such another level.
Because that company already really appreciated. I told them that you said that, and then even having it on this podcast, it just makes me really happy that they're going to hear it, and it doesn't like make them sad. They're like, okay, we didn't get the award, but we're gonna keep going.
Hashtag robbed at AVN.
Right.
Speaking of weird AVN stuff this year,
Yes.
why were there 45 fucking podcasts for the best adult podcast category?
45.
Yeah, there were 45. It was a fan vote, but
No, it couldn't be 45 because that's an odd number.
it was 40 something.
It probably was 44.
Oh, so you only do even numbers?
No, because of like the way the website is. It had to be, or maybe it was 45. Because it's like 5 across or something. So it's got to be like,
Okay, there were still 40 odd podcasts on there. Why?
There's just so many. There's so many podcasts. There's so many podcasts.
That
You should have seen how many got pre-nommed.
How many got pre-nommed?
I don't even like hundreds, literally hundreds.
Okay, well, thank you then, because I will go on record because I have done this on record. It's like I felt like it was a participation trophy this year because I'm like everyone who's ever done an adult podcast got nominated. It looked like
No, definitely not. Like only ones that like I had actually heard of.
Okay, so
Put it that way.
well, I'm glad we made the cut then.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been on that twice. I guess I've heard of it.
Or if it had like, kind of a funny name like the Porn Stash podcast or something like whatever.
Just if it's like a little catchy.
Yeah.
You can make like a little commercial to it.
For sure. There were a couple I was just like, what are they doing here? Like Guys We Fucked was like, why are they here? That's a huge show, and they're
That's a huge
good.
show, right?
It's a huge show that's good, but it has nothing to do with the industry.
But it's adult podcast though. All it has to do is be about adult subjects. Like,
Every podcast is an adult podcast at that point.
not really. Like, it has to be about sex.
Guys We Fucked isn't all that much about sex at this point.
Oh no, actually everything in the world is about sex except for sex is about power.
What she said.
Oh, I when I was looking at, like, thank you for the nomination. I'll thank you for the nomination. But it was just like, Jesus Christ. There are some shows that is just like, why? Why are they here? Like, I enjoy Guys We Fucked. It's a show I listen to. But it was just like, their biggest connection to like adult entertainment is that like one of them ex-boyfriend used to date Stoya. That's like the closest connection. It was like, it muddies the waters for the rest of us, Peter.
Well, I mean, that's
Okay.
that's
Fair enough.
do you need a connection in order to break into a podcast for the adult industry?
Well,
That's
they don't
what you're implying. It's not necessarily
they don't really cover anything. It's too
inclusive.
the show's two female comedians out of New York, and The full title is Guys We Fucked, the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast.
Wait, you need to say that slower. What?
Sorry, it's Guys We Fucked, the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast is the full title of the show.
Don't know what that means.
You know what? Slut shaming.
Well, yes, guys, we fucked.
The slut
shaming
podcast.
Okay.
It is basically two New York female comics, and it's a good show. And it's a huge show where they talk about like their hookups and shit like that. It's not necessarily like, yes, there's some adult subject matter there, but it's not like.
But it seems to me that like the whole theme of the show is literally guys we fucked, which is adult content.
I have quite a few stories I could add to that.
Please do. Please. We're here for your stories.
I don't know how many I've already said and how many I haven't, but
well, guess what? We have new listeners every fucking episode. So it's new to somebody.
Who's a member of the Mile High Club?
Oh,
and who didn't leave their seat for it?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, tell the story. Don't just be like, I fucked it through the seat of an airplane.
That was actually the first time I went to Europe. I was 18 and I was going with my friend. Well, actually, I flew to London and saw my cousin, and I took the train through to Paris and then to Geneva, to Milan, and then I met up with him in Rome. And then we met up there, and then from Rome we flew to Greece. And on that flight, there was like hardly anyone, and like we had a row, and obviously, like, you know, when it comes to my undergarments
or lack thereof,
and like what I prefer to wear, like, you know, people say that I dress very nice in a dress, and I'm like, I'm just extremely fucking lazy because I'll put on one article of clothing. And so, you know, everyone was laying down, and it was pretty easy to we had the entire row to ourselves, and it was fairly simple to just like look like we were cuddling. And
and you ruined a seat there too. Got it.
That's what you call a callback.
The amount of times I like on trains, in the bathroom. Also on that trip, you know, I was on a train that got stuck because lightning like struck the train track. So we were like kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere. And eventually, like, you know, the passengers were all like very annoyed. So they opened the like doors so that we could go out to smoke. And I remember sitting there, and this like guy walked past me, and he just like threw a magnet into my lap. It was a magnet from Paris, and then he just like kept walking by and didn't say anything. He just threw a magnet, and I actually still have the magnets, but I was like, what? And so I got up. I was smoking, and I was like, what? I got up, and I followed him into the train. He only spoke Italian, so we were using Google Translate, and we fucked in the bathroom.
So wait, a guy threw a magnet at you, and you just fucked him. Okay. That's the weirdest pickup I've ever heard.
I was very intrigued. I was like, why did you just throw a magnet into my lap and then walk away without saying?
Because that pussy's magnetic, yo. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I'm going to have to start doing this wherever I go. I'm going to carry a magnet with me.
Greetings from California.
And we fucked in the bathroom, and then I remember getting out, and like there was a line of people waiting, and I just remember like I went this way and he went that way. And
I hope when you got out of the bathroom, like, mi scusi, and just went.
No, we didn't say anything. We just like both went like our separate ways, and I don't.
Did you even get that dude's name?
No, I have no idea.
God damn.
Power of magnets, yo. How do they work?
There's some other people like on trains and some Uber drivers. There's been like an Uber like an Airbnb host.
And how many countries have you had sex in at this point?
I actually have a list of all the countries I've been to, and I would say all of them.
Okay, and that is? She's now having to check her notes.
Digging.
I have notes.
She's like, how many countries have I had sex in? I don't know. Peter, how many countries have you had sex in?
One.
Just one?
Yeah.
I hope it's America.
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be really bad if it was like not America.
Yeah, that would be.
Okay, so
I haven't been to that many countries.
Obviously America, but that doesn't really count. So then
I mean, it counts.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18 countries. Wow. got me beat. And how many continents is that?
That's 2 continents.
Okay.
That's in I've been to Mexico, but I was a kid.
Well, that's still in
Yeah.
North America, so.
It's
Yo,
still
that's
a
still
continent.
North America. So North America and Europe, but I would like to make my trip maybe over to Asia this year. I always say that, and then I always end up saying yes to work.
I at least have you beat on the continent count on number of continents I've
Well,
had sex
fuck you all. That's a good like.
It's a race. Yes. I mean, I'm nowhere near you on countries.
Well, I need some motivation. So
Yeah, because I've Asia, South America, North America. I zigged where I should have zagged in Australia.
South America.
And Europe. Okay, yeah. Asia, Europe.
I know,
North
like,
America.
when
I guess I came very close to having sex in South America once, but
What happened?
it just didn't happen.
Peter, did you have performance issues? It's okay.
No, that wasn't the.
That's not a nice thing to ask.
It's a joke. It wasn't. I wasn't asking to be
Every
mean.
joke has a little bit of honesty in it, which
Well,
is
but
why
there's
it's
also
funny.
there's also nothing to be ashamed of. I've failed before.
Well, so
It
I
happens.
feel like that's kind of like a projection issue on your part.
Oh, I've definitely failed before. Hell, when the person I had sex with in South America, it took me like 15 minutes to fucking get up. It was very loud and very crowded, and I was pushing rope there for a while. I got no shame in that shit. And now it's just silent. Like, oh, okay,
Right.
we're gonna talk about Matt CD now. Fuck.
What are we moving on to? This?
That has never been used as a sexual object. As a bottle opener.
I wasn't thinking of it as a sexual object. I was saying, it's pretty good to stab and you could pull a rib cage out.
Anna's thinking about violence towards me.
Oh, wait.
God.
Sorry, I didn't do anything.
And there goes the not breaking things.
I
No.
think she has broken the not breaking thing.
I didn't do anything. This just.
She didn't do anything.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
she continues to pull it apart.
Well, no,
The one thing I can't replace.
I'm trying to
The-
push it back in, but like I didn't. It's not like I was pulling this off.
Literally the one thing I can't replace.
You
Until
want
you
to
a-
take it?
until
I
you
didn't
actually
do
pulled it off.
anything. We have video evidence. I was just like,
There you go. It's back together now.
I guess I'll have to glue it, but yeah. The one thing that I cannot replace, she breaks.
I didn't
Like-
break it.
I need a new bottle opener, actually. I'm not asking for that one. I'm just saying I need
Do you want my broken South African
Oh,
bottle opener?
no.
It's been touched by Anna DeVille. It's
just-
probably worth something now.
Just need a new one.
Broken.
Good to know.
Hand broken by Anna DeVille. But Peter, we got to get those.
Again, I feel like it looks like a better rib cage like opener, but
She's so violent towards me. Jeez, I make one ED joke at Peter. She's just
Well,
like
again.
getting super defensive. She's like, I will murder you if you ask about Peter's dick again. I will murder you. His dick works fine all the time. He never has a problem. I will murder you, Matt.
one of my best friends. I will murder you.
Oh, look at that.
Aw.
Oh, I stay with you every time I come.
She's like, I won't have crash space if I don't murder him.
Right.
I'll murder you for different reasons.
What have I done? Why, Anna? Why? Why?
It's better left unsaid.
Damn. Now it's a mystery.
Right? Like, I feel like I've been nothing but kind to you every time. And now I'm going to get murdered over it. Jeez.
Well, I mean, you already gave me your passcodes into the building, so
Damn. That sounded like a threat almost, I feel like.
I'm glad we have multiple cameras and microphones recording this. When I go missing, please expedite her back from Prague. Because she'll be out of the country by the time you find my body.
I'll be out of the continent.
But I think
Assuming that you find it. That's
I mean, I won't. I'll be dead. Someone else will have to find me. I think as part of 2023, though, you should fly Peter to Europe and get him laid in Europe.
that's a good goal. Because again, the fucker hasn't visited me, and I thought we were like really close friends.
Come on, Peter. You get to go to Prague. You get to go to Scotland. You get to fuck somebody. It'll be fun.
Wait, did we go through like from Prague to Paris to London to Glasgow to Isla?
Hell,
He
you
doesn't
could.
give a shit.
We could get you laid in like 4 countries. Come on.
He doesn't give a shit.
I think he gives a shit about getting laid.
Oh, so not the fact that we're so close and he has not come to visit me. That's what he doesn't give a shit about.
I don't go visit anybody. I don't go visit my sister in New York.
You have actually gone to New York.
Only
because
when
I
I've been,
remember
only when I'm
you
forced to
tell-
by my
You
parents.
tell me, and I
Not of my
remember
own
those,
volition.
I remember those. Well, am I not forcing you enough?
I've never
What do I need to do
and
to
I've
like
never
drive
bought
the
my own
nail in?
ticket to New
How
York.
do I need to drive the nail in harder in order to force it?
And if it makes you feel any better, we live in the same city. I haven't seen him in a year.
See?
Well, the fact is that now I have an element of force.
No, you don't. You broke it. Take it away from you. You broke it. You had it. But now, no. But yes, I see Peter once a year when he comes and does this podcast, apparently. So
Right.
getting him on a plane seems a lot harder. I mean, I think half the battle would just be getting him to LAX.
I have picked him up at LAX, and he actually
Oh my God, that's
owes
love.
me.
She's picked you up at LAX and you have not gone and visited her?
He has not picked me up at LAX in return, and he has not gone to LAX to fly to see me. And he actually he owes me a trip to LAX.
I think
And I
visiting you
drove
is
there.
a much more reasonable response than going to
I
LAX.
drove there and back.
That's true. That's true.
And so you driving there and taking a flight and driving back, you do owe me that.
She makes a point.
So you gonna do
And
it this
I
year?
remember that. And I took you to a party, and I remember that.
That's true.
Are you gonna do it?
Which part?
All of it.
Is it her in Prague? On camera, she wants that pinky swear.
I mean, you're not just gonna fucking drive to LAX and drive back for no fucking reason unless you just like really don't want to see one of your best friends.
Oh my God.
The guilt. The guilt.
I'm used
And then
to
I
this.
assume that it's
Oh yeah, I mean we're Jewish. I get it.
and I assume that that actually doesn't mean
I mean, where do you think the Catholics got it from? Us.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I don't think he cares anything about Catholics.
Well, no, people always talk about Catholic guilt. It's like, no. They got it from the Jewish guilt,
That's right. The Jewish guild is way worse.
right? We're the OGs of
And
this
mine
shit.
doesn't even compare.
No, you're dishing it out. I'm just saying, like, I'm
We're conditioned to this shit.
right. I have a tolerance for it built up.
So I'll only get better. Is what you're saying.
She will only get better at guilting you.
Right.
It's been half a decade. I'll continue to improve.
For things she's trying to guilt you into, there are far worse things that you could be trying to be guilted into.
That's true. That's true. I'll give you that.
And he actually has done that.
Done what?
Been guilted into far worse things.
I have?
I'm sure.
I probably have.
Anything come to mind?
Oh, I have some things that come to mind, but
Tell.
no, I have no comment.
I
To protect
I
Peter's-
don't even know what she's thinking of, but
I know. That's why I
Well,
want to
that's
know.
because there's probably so many scenarios you can't even pick between one.
that's probably true also.
Oh, Peter's like, I'm part of a well-respected establishment in this industry. I have to keep everything above board.
That's right.
I'm doing fairly well to uphold that status.
I know. I'm just trying to tear it down. I'm just trying to tear it down at every given opportunity.
Okay, I think
I'm just trying to get Peter in the muck with the rest of us
Ugh.
you're up against some forces. Am I in the muck?
in a good way. Oh, I like
Okay,
it
well,
down
I
here.
hope that if you mean muck, I hope that you mean peat that's been compressed into like a block after like centuries and then like smoked under barley. Sure, I'm in the muck for that. But like when it comes to Los Angeles and America, no, I'm not in the muck.
Well, yeah, you left us. You abandoned us, Anna.
Right. See,
Thank God.
No regrets about that. She's like, I don't even really want to be back right now.
right.
No, not.
See, that's my counter argument is that she left.
Yeah.
But my counter argument is that every single fucking year I still stay with you.
Peter, she's trying to bring you to the promised land. She's not trying to leave you here like the rest of us. Do you hear her beating me up? Be like, Matt, why don't you have come see me in Prague? Matt, why don't you? No, she's like, Matt can stay in fucking America. It's fine. It's fine. Matt can stay here. She's like, Peter, come. The air is crisp here. Come. There's ham you can buy by the kilo. Come.
Ham.
Yeah, there's a whole like street.
Sure.
There's a whole street food thing in Prague. About.
Pivo.
What?
Pivo. Beer.
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 Pivo.
Pivo. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched some travel blog about like there's I guess a whole fucking thing in Prague about like street stands selling overpriced ham to tourists.
Yes, that is a thing, but you know, you can
I wouldn't buy ham
find-
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
You know how you pork?
Nope.
You keep kosher?
So you're not kosher.
Oh fuck no!
I feel like we've already talked about
I
this
don't keep
on this
kosher,
show.
but I don't eat pork.
The pig's delicious.
Well, I mean, I'm sure once upon a time in my life I agreed with you, but
Okay, well,
it's
so
been a
this is
long
why
time.
I think we're
We're the sliding scale here of food consumption.
I think Morningstar, because I had like bacon when I never had like ham or anything, but like as a kid I had bacon, and since I was like, I don't know, 8 to 10 when I stopped eating meats, Morningstar bacon to me at least tastes extremely similar to bacon. And I know that probably everyone else that eats bacon would disagree with that, but I think you should try it.
See, I've never had Morningstar, so I can't comment.
No, I do turkey bacon.
That's horrible.
I like it.
Morningstar is to me it tastes like bacon from as much as I can remember after almost 2 decades.
Turkey bacon? Why bother, Peter? Why?
I don't even know what turkey.
I like it.
When I started working at like a deli, like a bakery in Delhi, I had to actually ask them what's the difference between ham and turkey. Yeah, I didn't know there was like the color. I was like, honestly, what?
You're
is
aware
the
that
difference?
there's an animal called a turkey.
Well, I knew there was an animal called, but like when it came to a deli,
Yeah,
and
but there's not an animal called a ham.
when there were the
No,
meats
but-
like sliced, I was like, which one is which? I honestly don't know.
Well, I can kind
I
of
know what a
understand. They
pig
look
is,
very
and I know what a fucking like turkey is, but I never ate it, and I never knew.
They do look similar. I'll give you that.
Well, unless they're coming from their true forms, when ham is all
Again,
on the bone and
I know what an animal looks like. I just
That's
never
why they
knew
used
the
to call
fucking
ham the other
difference.
white meat
well, they're just called pork. The other white meat.
or pork. Yeah. That's what
Oh, and then beef too. That was another thing.
Well, beef looks completely different.
Those were 3 things I had to learn at a deli that I honestly had to pull my manager aside. And I was like, I'm really ashamed to be asking this, but like, which one is which?
How long ago did you like? How long did you work at deli?
About a year, and that was about a decade ago.
Hey, we all had jobs before.
It was a donut and Jewish like deli.
A donut and Jewish deli.
Hmm?
Solid.
Interesting.
As long as the donuts weren't fried in lard, that makes sense. I mean, it should be bagels, but
They had bagels too. That
Of
was
course
what
they
we
did.
made the deli sandwiches from.
oh, now I want lox and cream cheese.
Me too.
Being a full vegetarian, you're missing out on that. Lox and cream cheese is delicious.
Okay, well, so again, as a kid, my dad used to go fishing off the coast of like British Columbia and Alaska. He would leave for like a week every year and go fishing and then come back. And that was, the fish that we had for the year.
They brought
And
back
I had-
fresh salmon and made lox out of it.
Yes, no, not log, but we had salmon and
Let's say
we had halibut, and I grew up eating, like fried fresh halibut and salmon. And then there was one year that he pulled in like a really fucking big halibut. I think it was like 85 pounds or something. And that's in like really tough like Pacific like waters. Like it took a whole crew to like pull in that halibut.
Damn.
It was, they're strong. They're all muscle. And
delicious muscle.
I think, and they would put it into these sealed packages that I think we still have that halibut at my parents' house in the freezer downstairs.
Wow.
But I grew up eating that, so I don't know. If my dad went out fishing again, I would probably eat that. But
This is like it's gonna be such a convoluted plan to get Anna to eat fish. Like I gotta take her dad on a fishing trip. Like he has to successfully catch something. Like this is a lot of effort.
I don't know. I could see him. Maybe he would take me out to go fishing. He's taught me a lot of things. Maybe he would take me out to learn. I would love to get like my sailing license.
It would be worth it for her first lox and cream cheese bagel.
Right?
I could do that. I would catch it myself. And
Okay. Well, I mean, there's definitely the first content you could make.
I actually, and I've told
Deadliest Catch with Anna DeVille.
Valentina this too. She's like, Valentina is asking me, she's like, okay, well, what if it comes specifically from this farm that was very nice to their animals?
She's referring to Valentina Nappy, by the way.
Yes.
She hadn't specified that previously.
Okay, sorry. We've gotten pretty close in Europe.
Oh, very cool. Valentina's awesome.
I love her so much. We have a lot of similar interests when it comes to like animals and
Well,
just our.
give her a hard time about coming to do the show. Like Mark White told her she should come do the show years ago. She was self-conscious about her English at the time. And
Actually, I talked to her about it, and she said she was like she doesn't really drink, but she would come.
you're
but
not required
again,
to drink here. You're not required.
I know she isn't, and actually, but I wouldn't like ditch him for Valentina. I love both of them, so
I plead the fifth.
maybe I can do an appearance twice in 1 year. She would definitely come, though. I talked to her about it.
Awesome. Yeah, because we were at a party years ago, and like Mark White was like, "Oh, Matt does a great show. You should come do it." At the time, this has got to be 5-6 years ago. She felt self-conscious about her English and like didn't want to do it at that point. And I would love to have her on. She's great people.
I love her. She's a very wholesome person. And
I would have had her on then. Like it was completely her call to not want to do the show at the time. Like,
and she also, like, actually, again, she doesn't drink that much. This helps bring me out, and I'm more social, but we're very similar in how we interact and, like, the people.
she also fucks random Italians on trains.
No comments.
Well, good on her. Like, good on her if she does.
I'm not commenting on her personal life, but I can just say we're very good friends, and she is aware about your show. She'd be open to coming, and maybe I can make 2 appearances next year.
That'd be awesome. Well, I would hope to not wait a year to have her on. I mean, I wouldn't want to wait a year to have you on, but I know Europe. Maybe one of these days I'll drag my gear to Europe and do some shows remotely.
You should fucking do it with me and Brittany.
Well, give me Crash Space in Prague, I could be.
We have actually, my building is like half porn. There are multiple studios that are either used for shooting or for renting as a model house, and the owner knows what we do, and the rest of the neighbors know what we do. Everyone is totally chill.
Well, I dragged gear to Japan to record. I can definitely drag gear to Europe.
But so we're getting to the point where I need to pee, and I'm going to take another cigarette break. I'm not going to pee on camera because we've done it in the back room before, but...
You didn't pee during that.
Huh?
When we were in the bathroom 3 years ago, you didn't pee during that.
I'm pretty sure I did pee on you.
You did not pee on me.
It was after the show.
You definitely did not pee on me.
I definitely remember going to the bathroom.
Right, you poured a bottle of whiskey on me. You did not pee on me.
I have vague recollection of this.
It was some extremely vague recollection. Like,
yeah, it's still the cover art for this show.
Ah, okay, right.
Okay, well, anyways.
Yeah, go pee.
To piss.
We will pause again. Go pee. Have your smoke.
You want to lay in the bathtub and I can piss.
I'm cool.
Okay.
I appreciate the offer.
No worries.
We're getting back on track.
So, speaking of, I just remembered this. When you asked about what I've been up to the last year, and then speaking about, like...
Peeing on me?
Speaking about, like, dates and stuff, I did have sex with a werewolf.
What?
Okay, please explain.
Well, obviously, it was on the full moon, but he didn't bite me. I only have a scratch.
But by some mythos, that's enough. Weird hair been popping up places?
We're not going to discuss that further. Just the fact that...
You could just say no, Anna. You could just say no.
I just said that I'm not going to discuss it further. It was just a scratch, and I'm actually very happy about it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I know what she's talking about now.
Well, does someone want to enlighten me? Does someone want to enlighten me what the hell's going on?
I don't know. Do you want to see?
Sure. Fuck. That werewolf has very small paws. That's a tight.
Okay, well, sure. They're about my size, but...
Yeah, that's a tight grouping. Is it on camera? Did that make it in frame?
So
Okay, what the fuck happened?
I just told you.
Right, but how did the scratch happen on that angle?
She won't explain it any further. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. So for the audio audience, like the scratches on her calf.
So people are aware. It was from a werewolf.
Right, but the scratches on the calf, like I'm just trying to figure out what position you would be in to get scratched on your calf.
I mean, I think we're all aware of the positions that I can get into.
Well, any position you want. I know, like it, like the season 3 opening of Rick and Morty, where like Jerry folds yourself 6 times. You got that shit beat.
So then, I mean, let your imagination go wild with that.
But I want descriptions and graphic detail.
I have graphic detail, but he already knows that I'm not. We can talk about that off camera, but it was from a werewolf.
It's just an edging story. Like, woo.
Oh, the fact that you say engine.
No, edging. He said.
Edging.
Edging.
Okay.
Yes.
Never mind. Ignore that comment.
Happily. Walk right the fuck away from that.
Great. So,
Any other mythical creatures?
I would love to fuck a centaur.
Mm.
I mean, I guess you were like one of the few people I know who could probably handle something that like proportionally, because I'm assuming it has horse-sized penis. Because that would be really bad for a centaur to have human-sized dick.
I really don't think you should be doing like body shaming with mythical creatures or anyone.
I'm not shaming.
Matter.
I'm not shaming. Well, maybe a little. I'm just saying, proportionally, you'd think it's a horse lower half. It would be a horse cock.
Well, it's again, it's the question of whether it's going down to the legs.
But they have horse legs in front. They don't have human legs. That'd be. I mean that.
The chest is though. I don't know. We're not talking. It doesn't. I don't know. Centaurs, sphinxes, werewolves, poltergeists, all good. I'd fuck them.
Okay, I guess what's the short list of supernatural creatures you wouldn't fuck?
An angel.
Like a biblically accurate angel, or like
Oh shit! No, we're getting into biblically accurate angels. It's been like all the stupid memes online. I really don't give a shit. Sure, if it's eyes and wings, I could probably shove it up my ass.
And that's a clip, folks.
That would actually be hilarious to see like a biblically accurate angel coming out of my ass.
That would be how massive is a biblically accurate angel?
I don't think I don't know. I don't know if it actually describes the mass of it. If it's something like a black hole, I already have that.
Well, we know. There's photographic proof. It's the only black hole ever actually caught on camera.
That was another meme I'm very proud of that went around.
I'm Googling this. I'm trying to find out how big it, Google doesn't, or is my laptop just being slow? What is happening here? Give me answers, Google.
I'm pretty sure because of a black hole, it's going to start like slowing everything down once you get into the warp of it. So you're being sucked in. It's fine.
Oh, well, apparently the height of an angel is 216 feet.
Jesus Christ.
But again, once you get into a black hole, everything is like spinning and like compressed into like a very dense mass. So I think that it would be fine.
Well, I mean, I think that would be fine. I would. I was just thinking, like,
abandon all hope ye who enter here.
Is that what everyone says right before orgasm?
That's what is written over the gates of hell in the Divine Comedy, the Inferno.
Have you ever thought about it as a tramp stamp?
I have. But I already have the quote from Tiny Tim, but I have thought about putting my favorite quotes like going down this leg now, because I already have stay on here where do you belong. And I have, of course, thought about abandon all hope ye who entered here.
I think it's an appropriate thing to have like right above your butthole. I really do.
I agree completely. I just don't like the idea of having a quote across here and then also one on my leg. But I'm thinking about just making a script of my favorite quotes going down this leg.
Hey, as someone who has nothing but quotes on their left arm, I agree with this plan.
Okay, so that would be my next one.
We'll get it done. Peter, you're still
This
tattoo-free, aren't you?
motivation
What?
is
Yeah.
like, I mean, I can get tattoos for free done. I had all this leg done for free, so we're not like.
Look at Anna. She's like, I fuck mythical creatures, free tattooing. I've abandoned you poor Americans. Jesus, you're living the best life.
No tattoos for me.
Well,
What if
try-
I did it? What if it was a pin and needle tattoo or like scarification? It's not really a tattoo if there's no ink, but like.
Peter's like, I want to be buried in a Jewish cemetery. Yeah, they don't let us go to Jewish cemeteries if you have tattoos.
Exactly.
Scarification.
Can you get an Anna Ville brand?
No.
It's not a tattoo.
Okay, well, actually, the other night I was about to brand your jackets, but I needed more time to
Wait.
actually do.
Brand my jacket.
Was that
I was
is
gonna add like my name to like the very corner of it, but I needed more time to do
Oh,
it
well,
last.
you-
I thought that was code for his back.
Well, no, I sewed up his jacket for him, and I didn't have enough time, and I was going to add like I made like a little that, and I was gonna, but it was like, for cursive, it's a lot more intricate than just like sewing up some sleeves. So I started it, but then, I cut the threads and I didn't finish it. But I will eventually, like probably next year when I come, I'll add like my
Soon-
own little.
As soon as you fall asleep, Peter, it's happening.
Oh God.
Sleep
Has
lightly.
anyone done that before? Because actually, when you sew like thread through your skin, like it like tickles a lot.
Ugh. Ugh.
And same with corset piercings too. When you start to like feel like the lace or like the silk going down and you pull it, it actually like it feels really good.
The more you know.
Yikes. That's all I can say about
I have 0 piercings, so
I've had I think at least like 30.
Jesus Christ.
yeah. Where? She just rolled her eyes at me. She's like, no.
I don't know if you want me to list all of them.
I just can't think of 30 places off the top of my head.
I'm not saying that 30 places, but at least 30 piercings.
Oh, okay.
Some like
Redone and
yes, and not necessarily stay. They were just for fun. I kept them for like a few days, and then they were taken out.
oh, okay. Yeah, because I was just like, I couldn't think of
But
30
no,
places.
the fact of actually being pierced, I think it's at least been at least like 30 times.
It's fucking awesome.
I know. I really miss. I want to do another corset piercing. I actually really miss. I love feeling, like I said, the like lace being pulled once you have like the bars under your skin, and it kind of tickles your skin, and then you get the pulling of the skin, and it like feels really good.
Why aren't you doing it?
I've been working, and it takes like I need at least like 3 days. You can keep a corset piercing in for probably about 2-3 days is what I kept for it before. Also in high school, I did my first corset piercing at 16, and great reactions from the teachers when I had an open back, and I had like it was 20 points, so I had like 10. It was 10 points on either side, so like 5 surface barbells. They were 1 inch long, and they went down, so 5 on either side, and I laced them up, and that was really fun at 16. It got a good reaction from my high school, but I'm still, I think, on my piercer's business card with that.
That is one of those things that has just never crossed my mind. I've
No.
managed to go my whole life without, never been pierced, not once.
Suspension. Maybe that's something I'll try this year. I've always really wanted to, but
I'm honestly amazed you haven't done it.
I really want to. Also, when I actually started in porn, you could still kind of see like the dots down my back in like some of my very first photos and videos. So it was always like a matter of like the scars showing, which, I didn't keep doing it. And then also, of course, a matter of like if someone's gonna be a fucking idiot and rip it out. It's like, I had my dermals ripped out on set before.
Damn.
Oof.
So you can still see, like, I have a little scar here. They found it I didn't feel it when it was ripped out. They just found it on the floor. But I would really love, scar, like, that's gonna leave a mark definitely for a while. But now that everyone is like cool with the werewolf scar, I don't see any reason why to not move forward with like other scars.
Well, yeah, and at this point, you're a bankable commodity. You're not some new performer who's, clamoring to get work. People are going to want to book you because who you are. So go do what you want to do.
That would be the next thing. I really hope so. That would be fun to do this year.
You should do it, and Peter should be in Prague for it.
Okay.
Should document it.
Peter seems unenthusiastic about this. Very unenthusiastic.
Well, it's made me very enthusiastic because I really want to do that.
So, Peter, will you commit to doing this on camera?
I will commit to nothing.
Good man. Good man. Very wise.
Well, see, this
Don't-
is why you're not married.
Wow.
I mean, it probably goes a lot deeper than that.
Probably.
Saying, I'm not going to commit to anything. Even seeing, like, your best friends
Oh my god.
do suspension. But, it's cool.
Such shade, such guilt.
I know.
And she brought up that you're unmarried. Is she your best friend or your mother?
I mean, he could bring it up for me, too, but...
Yeah, you're significantly younger than both of us.
Yeah.
There's still the, like, Central Eastern European mentality, though.
Of-
In check.
So you're like, you're in your mid-20s and unmarried without 5 children? What's wrong with you?
Somewhat. Or at least, even if I'm unmarried, but I have, at least, some children. No.
Children is the sucker's game.
Yeah. Agreed.
So when are you going to vasectomy, Peter?
I'll worry
Good
about
question.
that when
I can do it?
I need to worry about it.
You know I got one in July, right?
I do know.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I filmed it.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That deserves another cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, no, I did that shit in July.
Good for you. How do you feel?
Great. Raw dogging for everybody. Yeah, that was a good decision.
Not talking for me, but I've been on birth control since I was like 14.
Yeah, like more dudes should do it. It literally took under 10 minutes to get done.
I love it personally.
Me too. Never have to pay child support. Not ever.
Yeah.
Is that, we all know I was going to be absentee anyways. Just a matter of fact. But yeah, I did it in July. It was a whole, like, when the Roe v. Wade decision came down,
Right.
when I did it.
You know how many people in Europe were watching that on TV and were so shocked? Same with the Trump election. So many people were just completely shook that their dream or their ideal of America. I mean, I already knew that. Obviously, that's why.
Oh, yeah, you're from here.
But so many people just, they watched that and they're like, it's, their idea of America is never going to return. It was completely shattered. And, that's why they call it the American dream. It was only ever a dream. It never existed.
Well, we are the best marketed country on the planet.
That's all about marketing. Doesn't actually mean there's any fundamental stability.
Well, it took me traveling abroad to be like, oh, we are definitely not number one at everything. We just
No, actually, we're number one in like probably the worst categories.
What really hammered a lot of that home was the first time going to Japan and being like, holy fuck, Tokyo's subway system is the largest in the planet and so much easier to get around than New York. And New York's the only place that has like any real robust train system in the whole goddamn country. And Tokyo's is infinitely bigger and, without even speaking the language, easier to get around on.
I remember when I went back to
I'm terrified of using the subway in New York. Like,
I mean, I use like public transit when I'm in Oregon, but I've never used it in Los Angeles.
It exists,
I'm sure it does.
sort of.
I've used the subway in here many times, but
It's always a good show.
yeah. In New York, forget it.
Well, yeah, because
I wouldn't do it by myself. If I had someone with me, I would do it. But
Would you trust me to protect you?
yes,
Oh.
I don't think it's so much a protection thing as just getting fucking lost thing.
exactly. It's a getting lost thing.
Well, so like I remember when I'd been living in Prague for like 2 years, and then I went to London and I was using like the underground, and I was like, oh my god, these signs are in English. Like it's so easy to like I had been through so many countries like using like the metro and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, it's in English.
And I also love that more you're having to drink, more and more a Czech accent is coming out of you.
Shit.
Not to derail it, I'm just like, oh.
No, is it Oregonian or Czech?
Who was it who like kept saying
Your friend.
yeah that you had an accent? I'm like, she really does not have an accent.
Again, people, when I already moved from like Oregon to here, people already asked me where I was
Oh no,
from.
there's definitely some like Czech vocal inflections that.
It's just when you start getting used to it, and people will not understand you if you don't even like. It's like a very tiny difference, but
Oh yeah, you're inundated with the language. It makes perfect sense. I'm not giving you shit about it. It's just it's kind of cute.
like once.
Definitely wasn't giving you shit about it. It was just like, oh, it's just gotten as you've had a little more drink, it's gotten progressive.
Progressively more like when I'm used to talking to people when I'm drinking more.
Perfect. But actually, we're gonna call last call on this motherfucker.
All right.
Well, I just finished this.
What? You can pour yourself.
Means-
You can open the bottle. It's fine.
Can I?
Yeah. We're just calling last call. We're just wrapping the podcast. I'm not kicking you out the door.
Fine with kicking.
But on that note, since we're all calling last call, Anna DeVille, where can they find you on the things? Social media, all that fun stuff. Where can people find you?
I hope they can't.
And
All right. Don't find Anna DeVille on any of the things.
Anna DeVille, XXX at Twitter. Anna is a succubus on Instagram, and that's all I have.
No. Oh, you don't do content, so of course no OF.
Not yet.
Any sites you want to plug?
There is circling back to this, UA Animals, so for Ukrainian shelter for like the animals, different pets, and the wildlife that has been misplaced since the war began. I would recommend them.
oh, that's a good one.
Yep, definitely not one to masturbate to.
No.
And Ardbeg.
And Ardbeg, and maybe Prefers Family, maybe.
Oh, Perverse Family, of course. My pride and joy.
Yeah, that was the one I was looking for, but
Perverse Family, horror porn, anything from Steve-O Media.
hell yeah.
Peter Warren at Peter Warren on Twitter. That's all you need.
The IG staying private these days?
Wow, you're even more.
It's not my whatever. My IG is stupid. Like, there's no reason to follow me on IG. Just follow me on Twitter.
No, I like his IG. It's just like it's good food.
It's
That's
just
what he
food
posts.
pictures. That's all it is.
That's okay.
Still Peter Warren.
No, it's Wet Scrog Rex.
Oh, right. But your name on it is. Yo,
is Wet
I
Scrog
remember.
Rex.
Yep. And go to avn.com.
avn.com. Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Next year, vote for us for best podcast. Maybe we'll be Plug Talk. Probably not.
Next year.
Next year.
Next year, well, I'll get most outrageous, even though I was nominated twice and I've been nominated every year. But
Hopefully, we're all winners next year.
Yeah.
And as always, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. and Slayer on Facebook, twitch.tv/Matt F. and Slayer. You can find the Patreon, home to the exclusive content, the uncensored content, the video versions a week early at patreon.com/Matt Slayer. And you can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter, and Now We Drink _ on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
how many times have you practiced that?
Hundreds.